guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for clicking onto this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share this video, and when you're done, please check out the rest of my videos. Your support and love is highly appreciated.
Let's get into the situation of Moneoa and her ex-boyfriend, who is Piwe Mapanga. So according to Moneoa, she was being called a lot of names and people were alleging that she's extorting money from him and that she was also blackmailing him. I guess Moneoa has had enough of all that has been happening and she decided to go on Instagram Live. On the live, Moneoa revealed a lot of shocking things, and let me just say, ooh, the girl has been through so much. So according to Moneoa, the relationship started in 2017, and at the time, everything was fine. I think she said for the first year or two, the relationship was great until she started noticing red flags. So the first red flag was the fact that Moneoa was not allowed to go to his place. This guy told Moneoa that he was a property developer. He was living in an apartment with a business partner who was a Chinese woman, I think around the age of 60 something years old. And I guess this whole living arrangement made Moneoa suspicious, but she just didn't pay too much attention to it because they still continued the relationship even after that. So now let's get into this whole car situation. Moneoa had a BMW and the BMW had a dent and a broken mirror, if I'm not mistaken, and this guy offered to fix it all up for her. And Moneoa at the time was thinking, my boyfriend wants to do something nice for me, so you know what, let me give him this BMW for him to fix. She gave him this BMW and she never saw her car again. Mind you, she's still paying for that car till today. So how the Range Rover came into place? According to Moneoa, this guy was also beating her up. So this guy was feeling guilty, and also Moneoa was pressurizing him about the return of her BMW. This guy decided to get Moneoa a Range Rover. The agreement at the time was that the guy will pay for it in installments, I think for about 3 months, and after that he will pay for it all. Like he would do a lump sum payment and pay it off. So this guy was expecting this big business deal. At the end of the day, this big business deal fell off and the guy couldn't pay for that car in a lump sum. So when this car was being purchased, it was purchased in Moneoa's name, and now when the car company comes and it wants their money, they're coming from Moneoa's bank account. So currently Moneoa is paying for a BMW as well as a Range Rover, and I think she does not have the Range Rover in her possession. I don't know what happened to it, but she does not have it in her possession anymore. Moneoa said that the payment of both cars were crippling her account to an extent whereby she got evicted. So she couldn't afford to pay rent anymore, so she had to leave her apartment. At the time, she had a lot of furniture, so she called this guy up. I think at this time they had already broken up, and this guy came to her aid, and the guy helped in putting her stuff in storage while she was going to live with a family relative. And this guy took all of her things, put it in storage, put his own contact details, his numbers, his emails, his address and everything, and he promised Moneoa that he was going to pay it off. The guy only paid it off for 2 months or a month, and after that he stopped paying it off. Obviously, the storage people kept calling the guy and told him that they were going to auction off Moneoa's property, but the guy did not have the decency to tell Moneoa to go pay for her things because he couldn't pay for them anymore. And that's how Moneoa's properties, assets, furniture, clothes and everything got auctioned off. According to Moneoa, all these properties were worth more than 500,000. Moneoa and this Piwe guy came to an agreement with regards to these assets, and the guy agreed to pay at least half of what the properties were worth. I think Moneoa said about 170,000, and he paid it off, but I think there's still some money remaining there. Also, while they were still in a relationship, this guy convinced Moneoa to leave her record label. She was signed to Gallo Records at the time, and she left the record label for this guy's non-existent record label. So the agreement was that this guy was going to start a whole record label, register it, and have Moneoa as an artist under it. And I guess to Moneoa, all these things sounded romantic. It sounded like, okay, my boyfriend loves me so much, he wants to do such a big thing for me. and the girl left her record label. The guy promised to invest more than 400,000 into Moneoa's career as well as the album, and an album was recorded. I think she said that the name of an album was called Zipi Zinkomo or something along those lines. And the guy did not pay the producers their money, so at the end of the day, Moneoa does not have access to those songs. It means that today, if you hire Moneoa to perform, she cannot perform those songs. I think she said she only have access to one song in that whole album. Basically, this guy messed up with Moneoa's career. Moneoa also said that there's still some paperwork drama with regards to the whole label being set up. It's just too much. Now, for me, this is where Moneoa went wrong. Like, how are you going to convince me to give up my bag like that? Like, how are you going to convince me to leave a well-performing record label, a well-established record label, for a non-existent one? Like, for me, I don't even see anything romantic in that. It was just a big gamble that, at the end of the day, did not pay off. And Moneoa, unfortunately, is bearing the consequences of that decision to date. So apart from all this nonsense that this guy put Moneoa through, he was also abusing her physically. So Moneoa shared 2 incidents about the abuse, and the first one, I think this is the first time that he hit her. They had an argument, and during that argument, Moneoa remembers this guy coming and pouncing off her. She kept breaking in and out of consciousness, and that was the first incident. And another incident, this guy beat her up and locked her in a car so that she couldn't leave. Moneoa was teary when she revealed that she currently has no car. Mind you, we're talking about a superstar, a very talented lady who should by all standards be living comfortably, and here she is, and her current predicament is just sad. So basically, 5 years later, after all this relationship, Moneoa is currently in debt. Moneoa is paying for 2 cars that she doesn't even have in her possession. Moneoa's career is literally down. Moneoa does not have a record deal. It is just a lot, honestly. It is just a lot. I think she even said that she had to move back home as a result of all of this. So it's actually sad. So one of the reasons I'm so skewed into believing Moneoa is because this guy has allegedly scammed a lot of people. Moneoa talked about incidences whereby this guy was accused of scamming people. I honestly hope that, Moneoa could just get her life back together, get her career back together. After getting her career back together, this will definitely improve her finances, and most of her debts can just simply go away. As for this guy, I honestly hope he gets his day in court, and after that he goes and gets his day in hell, because you're not just gonna wake up one day and decide that it's okay to ruin somebody's life, it's okay to ruin somebody's career, it's just okay to mess up somebody's life. That is just simply not allowed. Anyway, stay tuned for Moneoa's Instagram live clips. It was a very long Instagram live. I tried to chop it down for you, as well as the audio between Moneoa and this ex. While you're at it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. And I will see you next time. Bye.
He claimed to be one thing, but in the beginning of the relationship, there's certain things that I could pick up. Like he would say, he would say certain things and then forget that he said them. When somebody tells you that he's doing this or he's this type of person, and then next thing, kufanana. The first financial issue. At some point in our relationship, Pure took my car. He took my BMW. He said that he was going to go fix it. So my BMW had a dent. It had a dent on the side, on the left side, and then also the mirror was like big. And so he took my car, he took my BMW, so naturally I let him take it. Thank you, my man's gonna do something nice for me, I have not seen my BMW since. That was in 2017. I have not seen my BMW since. Shortly after that, Pure and I, not shortly after, a couple of months later, I'm going to try and summarize this the best way I can. That's the first issue. I'm still going to get into the BMW issue again. That's the first issue. This was part of the reason why I'm doing this live. What part of the reason why I'm exposing him. And I'm going to explain how now the debt that I'm incurring as a result of that BMW that I haven't seen in 5 years, I'm still paying for it today. I'm still paying for that BMW today. But I have not seen my car in 5 years. So he took my car to Lungis. It turns out he gave it to his cousin. I don't know what his cousin did with it. And it has been a wild goose chase ever since. How he came about getting me the Range Rover. It was New Year's Eve. We went to a party that one of his friends was hosting in Centurion. And on our way back, we got into a fight. And I can't even remember what the fight was about. But things were already tense. Anyway, we got home, we were drunk, we slept on it, woke up in the morning. And mind you, this guy had laced me with alcohol. We had literally he had bought me booze after booze after booze at this party. So when we got home, I was drunk. So he wakes up. So what he was used to is that every morning I would wake up and make him breakfast. Every single morning I would wake up, make him breakfast, iron his clothes, put them on the bed, shine his shoes. I was literally this dude's cheerleader, maid, best friend, you name it, I was everything. I was fully committed to this man. So that was what he was used to. Every morning I'd wake up, make him something to eat, breakfast in bed, some coffee, some cereal, whatever. So anyway, long story short, guys, we had a back and forth argument. And he's like, I do this, and I'm like, I do this, and da-da-da-da-da. Just one of those toxic arguments that any respectful couple should never have. And eventually, he made the threat. He said something I want to make sure that I quote him word for word. He said something along the lines of, you're actually pissing me off now. And I said to him, if you lay a hand on me, and next thing I remember, I blacked out because he had pounced on me from across the room. Next thing I was standing, next thing I was on the floor. Next thing I'm blacking out again. And I'm seeing him like, what are you doing? Blacking out again. Gentleman blackout, he's hitting me in the face. Like I'm seeing stars. At some point I remember he had his knees on my shoulders and he had his hands around my neck. And I said to him, you're killing me, you're gonna kill me. And he said, I ain't bulaling fundo. And he carried on beating me. We started this argument on one side of the room. By the time he stopped beating me, I was on the floor in the bathroom and he was standing above me. And he said again, what did I do to deserve this? Why are you making me become this person? And I remember I was just crying, telling him, please just stop. Please stop. And so this is how the Range Rover came about. After he had beaten me up for the first time, he felt guilty. That was in January. The Range Rover was not a Valentine's Day gift. The Range Rover was bought in January. In fact, for the first few days after he had beaten me up, I have the pictures. I'm going to post them after this on my stories of my eye and my face that day. After this happened, my mom came and she counseled us. I didn't call the cops because at the time I was in love and
I don't even know why I keep doing this. And that's why I keep hoping that someday you will actually listen to what I have to say and just resolve this once and for all so that Nami can have peace with the situation and let it go. Ngiyeke, nawe ungiyeke. Yabo. Siqhube phambili ngeimpilo zethu in peace. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. That is my car. I can't.
And I don't want you to.
I can't let it go. I'm sorry. I can't.
You should never have to.
Yeah. Like, I worked for it. Yeah. So, ngiyayidinga.
Yeah.
I don't.
And so we're going to end so indaba yayo immediately kusasa. Immediately.
Just don't trust you, Steve. I don't trust you. I don't trust you, right?
It's just one more time.
I don't trust you.
Kanye.
Yo, I don't trust you. In fact, initially they said they blacklisted me. And that I would not be able to get a car again. And I just didn't look. It was hard to let go because it was my only source of transport. And I mean, it was my car. I attached to it. But had to let it go. I had to let it go.
Do you have the contacts for whoever is in charge? Can you forward that to me tonight as well?
I will.
Along with BMW.
I will. So you're going to settle the issue with the Range Rover?
And then revert back to you on the status. Because right now we don't know what's...
I will. I'm finding it hard.